This episode of Trivia in Chief is about America's fourth president, James Madison, known as the father of the Constitution. James Madison became a delegate to the Continental Congress in 1780. After ratification of the Articles of Confederation in 1781, the nation needed a new constitution to strengthen the federal government. Madison began working on his own plans for a constitution, which became known as the Virginia Plan. It included a system of checks and balances and 3 branches of government. Madison's plan would form the foundation of the U.S. Constitution. Once the Constitution was ratified, Madison wrote the Bill of Rights. In 1794, widow Dolly Todd was becoming well known in Philadelphia. Her first husband had died the year before during a yellow fever epidemic. Madison asked a friend of his, Aaron Burr, to introduce him to Dolly. James Madison and Dolly Todd were married by the end of the year. In 1797, Madison left political life, but in 1800, Thomas Jefferson appointed him Secretary of State. Madison was elected president 8 years later in 1808. Around this time, British naval officers were impressing American soldiers, meaning they were capturing soldiers and forcing them to join the British Navy. This angered Madison. In 1812, he declared war against Britain. In 1814, during the War of 1812, the British invaded Washington, D.C. The Madisons were forced to flee the city, and Dolly helped save a painting of George Washington. James Madison, who had no military experience, took a pair of dueling pistols from the White House and went to fight the British. He remains one of only 3 presidents to be present during military operation while in office. The other 2 were George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. The Madisons returned to D.C. and found the White House ruined. They used the Octagon House in Washington, D.C. as a temporary residence. Madison left the office of president in 1817 and died in 1836. At the time, he was the last surviving signing of the Constitution. James Madison is our smallest president. He was 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighed 100 pounds. Despite his small size, he played a large role in American history, as he helped define our government and defend our nation from the British. My next video will be about our 5th president, James Monroe. Thank you.